All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back for another, I guess, not a movie review, but just my opinion about an article about movies. And I'll put the screenshot of the article that I'm getting ready to talk about, and I'll read it here as well. If you see me looking, that's what I'm doing. Avengers director says Marvel's recent problems aren't due to superhero fatigue, but a big generational divide about how you consume media. And I read the article. It's just a fluff piece, but they do say some cool things. And Joe Russo noted that the new generation of moviegoers communicate largely through memes and headlines, with nobody reading the past two sentences. So everything 100 characters or less, or a 10-second video on social media you swipe through. He ain't wrong. I communicate through memes. I sent certain 10-second or a minute views to people because those are entertaining. I get more entertainment from I've done some I think I did one or two YouTube shorts, and I said one of them, this is more entertaining than some movies, and it's legit. And saying, oh, it's because they're looking at their phones more and they're doing this more, they're not watching TV, and yeah, they're watching movies, but there's nothing good to watch. The social media has broken the strictly Hollywood kind of way of getting entertainment. It used to be it's just always the legacy media, NBC, ABC, the movie, the product. You have to go to movies to watch, go to the movie theaters to watch a movie or whatever. But now with social media, you can watch YouTube. People talk. You can be entertained by YouTube, entertained by TikTok, Facebook Reels, anywhere. It's so scattered now. You can find a specific place to watch opinions about things. It's so great that way, and it's hurting Hollywood because they're competing with that. And you can to say it's just that moviegoers are just. They're just always their 10-second thing. It's not. It's the stories, man. It's the freaking stories that is hurting Marvel. I wish they can say that, but they can't because they don't want to burn bridges. I get it. And that's the thing is I'm just a general moviegoer. I'm not like a fanboy of Marvel. I like what they did with Marvel. I like what the stories they told with Marvel. I love movies. I love series. I love stories. Who doesn't? From the beginning of time, we love stories. We people have told stories over a campfire, talking about spooky stories or how things was back in the day. And they didn't have distractions, of course. They would listen, and it was intrigued by the story was told. And with Marvel, for the beginning of Iron Man to Endgame, that was a phenomenal story. But I think they didn't have. In my humble opinion, I've said before in previous videos, I don't think they had a game plan. If they did, then and I know, 2020 was whatever that put a wrench in the works. I get that. But after that came and went, there's no excuse for their behavior of movies and stories that they're trying to give us that we are not liking. You know what I'm saying? That's what my humble opinion is. Because as a general movie audience member, I'm not hardcore in of superhero stuff. Like, oh, what about this and this? I don't really care. I don't do that. It's interesting. Cause I don't read comic books, so I can't join that conversation as other people do. Just a regular person. After Endgame, they didn't give us a nugget of what to expect. You've trained us for freaking decades. After each movie, there is a mid-credit scene that will help us to know what the future may hold, what to expect. They didn't give us that in Endgame. They didn't. So in my head, canon, I guess, or whatever, I was like, all right, I guess they don't. I knew they did. They talked about it through different articles and different news points. But for myself, I was like, well, they didn't have a mid-credit scene. That means they don't have a plan. You know what I'm saying? And after Endgame, I've watched maybe a couple movies. I watched what was it, Thor, Thor and Captain Doctor Strange. I didn't like them. They wouldn't. It was just watered down characters anymore. Their stories was crap. It didn't have that Marvel feel as it once did. I kind of relate it to Star Wars. The Disney Star Wars does not feel like Star Wars anymore. It's corporate ties, I guess. It's the story just sucks. But I believe that Marvel can get back to that storytelling. It's not about the flashy, special effects. It's not about how we consume media through 10-second reels, or it's not. It does not matter. It's all, in my humbled opinion, it's all about the freaking story. Make it simple. But they don't want to, and they can't. They have to have a certain quota. They have to have a certain checkbox. They have to have this and this to make a story a halfway decent, to pass those rules and regulations they have to do. And unfortunately, the story suffers because of that. Now, but I'll say this. Let's say you have to have this, and this to make a story. It's possible to make a good story because you have to check the boxes. But make it in a way that we care about the characters in it, if you see what I'm saying. Don't force us to like this character because they are this, but we have no comparison with it. Sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am. I mean, I've seen many movies. Marvel and other movies that these have these characters in the story that they want. We should and have to like them, just the way they act. And if you don't like them, they call you names. You're this and this and this, and it's not the case. You can't make somebody love a character. You have to convince us as moviegoers, general audience members, why should we like these characters? And these characters that are given to us, pardon my French, suck. They truly suck. And that's the reason with like Lucasfilm movies and Marvel and some DC, we're just taking a step back. It's like, all right, you have to earn it. If you want and I'm getting a little triggered here, I do apologize. But this is the thing, and I'm just talking, I can't speak for all people in the world, of course. I'm just speaking about myself. If you want my hard-earned money to watch a movie on a big screen, or rent it, or whatever possible to see it, or get a subscription to Disney Plus, you have to earn that trust again. You have destroyed the trust of any movie goer of film. With Disney, Star Wars, whatever. You have to earn it back. Now, people might say, well, Deadpool and Wolverine can bring the audience back. No. It's just a steroid shot to get people pumped once again. And you have to remember, that's in freaking July. And the next big movie to come after that is Fantastic Four a year later. So you have to make Deadpool and Wolverine a banger. You have to make it so good and have a good plan of what the next phase is for Marvel. If you don't land it, you will lose us. You'll have some general fanboys that will go to theaters and give you money regardless, but it won't be the number that had back in the day with the Infinity Saga. Not that reign again. But I believe, I might be being positive, and maybe people don't agree with this, but I believe they see the writing on the wall. And I believe they can make it back to what it was. I 100% believe they can. Different than Lucasfilm and Star Wars. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to get off the subject line, but I can talk about that a different day if I have enough people who are interested in that. But with this just, I mean, I know everybody's used to this kind of fluff, kind of articles of directors that worked with Disney say certain comments, and he's not wrong in certain things about people, how we consume media. But the thing is like I said earlier, I get more entertainment on my phone of a 10-second 10-second reel of some dude or whoever making a funny 10-second video that I can watch over and over again, and I can laugh my hind end off. That had no huge budget. It didn't take $200 million to make that 10-second reel. It just took a guy or a girl to turn on the video, maybe edit, put some subtitles, put whatever, and make it good. Because they are putting, they don't have that big budget, so they're putting their best thoughts. Okay, well, how can I make this video work? And they do it, and it works. Of course, you see some that's not so good, but there, in my humble opinion, there's more better ones than worse ones. Because the more you do, the better you get, right? But Marvel's been doing this for how long? And all of a sudden, oh, it's superhero fatigue. Now, let me comment on that, on superhero fatigue. And I think some YouTubers will say it too. I might have said it before, I can't remember. It's not that superhero fatigue, it's just bad story fatigue. That's what's up. We're not tired of the superhero. I like superheroes if it's done right. The hero's journey is the most old story that everybody can relate to. It does not matter if it's female or male. It does not freaking matter. You have to let us know why we should care about that character. Not because they're this, not because they're that, nothing like that, but because of the struggles that character goes through to get to that point where they're trying to be. If you can capture that, you have a $1 billion idea. I mean, this is Captain Obvious over here. Everybody knows this. And heck, even I think Hollywood knows this too. But they don't want to. And in all fairness too, I think I said in another video as well, and I took this idea from somebody else on YouTube, that for Hollywood to get back to what they need to be, it takes them a little longer because they have budgets, they have contracts. It takes a big ship to move that over. It takes them for years to get back to what there was. And time they get there, it's too late. The ship has gone. The opportunity's gone. They're a little bit too late to the party. For YouTubers or small production companies, they're easy to turn around. You can. I'm not going to talk about certain YouTubers, but there's one YouTube channel that announced that it's going to do something, and it failed. People in the comments says, why are you doing this? Blah blah blah. In the next video, they apologized, and they weren't going to do what they're going to do. They're going to do it differently because the fans, the people who support that channel, says, "Why are you doing this?" And they're knowing the audience is their bread and butter. It don't matter how many sponsors they have. Don't matter what, merch or Patreon. It does not matter. It's the people who turn on their TV or phone to watch them daily, comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. They realize those are the ones that keeps the light on. You know what I'm saying? But what's crazy is me and other people on YouTube and people on blogs have been telling Marvel and even I'll tie in Lucasfilm about their movies suck, what you should do, and they don't listen. Maybe they listen and they don't care, or they care but they can't do nothing about it. It could be a mishmash of both, right? But for myself, I just, maybe I was triggered by this, but I really wanted to comment on it. And it's just a general thing that, I kind of watch people talk about Marvel, and I'm like, okay, all right. And I would say, honestly, I am more interested in Marvel, of what they could do, than Star Wars. I'm thinking about doing an idea, talk about Star Wars and how the box office of how it was the last couple of years, and to kind of give an opinion on what the next Star Wars will bring on the box office. But my interest of that is very low. And as you can, like I always say, you can see I am a Star Wars fan. Always have and always will be. But I'm not going to support it. I watch a movie of Star Wars to see what they get. If they can land it, the stand, land it very well. But for Marvel, and what's crazy is they know what they have. Marvel can see how many people's interested in their shows because they can see the data on Disney Plus, and they can see the failures on the box office of all the movies they've made in the last 4 years. Right? They know. They have to. Because I know how my videos are. Some of them are not good and some aren't. And I try best to find a happy medium. It's something, and sometimes I'll just, even though I like it, I'll put it out there. Hopefully somebody will like it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am. I mean, I'm not trying to force something. I'm not going to, because this is a movie/TV show review and other maybe kind of interesting entertainment topics like UFOs. But that's it. I'm not going to review, coffee or anything like that because that's not my brand on this channel. I probably could. I might get a little bit different people that like that topic, but my people who love movies or TV shows will be like, "What the frick? I didn't subscribe to this," and unsubscribe. Right? It's the same thing with Disney Plus. When you subscribe to it, you have one particular show, Mandalorian. After it's over and done, what else can you watch? There's nothing left. And that's the reason Disney Plus is failing, to be honest with you. There's not much there. The rewatchable of old content, because I subscribed to Disney Plus many years ago, and not anymore, of course, but when I did, I was like, I'll rewatch the Infinity Saga and see. I never did. I thought I would, but I never did. I guess I'm not a huge fan, but I just don't have the bandwidth of time to watch them all again or watch it here and there. I might occasionally watch Infinity War. That's probably more rewatchable for myself, in my opinion. But back to this topic. I hope I didn't go off the rails too much, but it's just, again, and I will say this for the end of time, it's all about the story. It's all about the story, man. It's because it does not matter who's in the story. Of course, the characters have to matter as well. I'll give you an example, and I'm going longer than I expected in this video, but I really want to get this out and see if anybody else feels the same way I do. If I'm just a lone wolf here, you know what I'm saying? It's the Zack Snyder Rebel Moon 1 and 2. The story was okay. I like the story because it's a Star Wars story. But the reason I didn't like it, the movie, is because the characters weren't fleshed out. I did not care about the characters. Again, like I said, my previous review, maybe the director's cut will go more in depth with the characters. And to be honest with you, I kind of doubt it. Because maybe I'm wrong. But if he goes in depth with more characters in the movie, then I'll change my opinion about the review. But I'll keep the review up, but do a different take or revisiting and my opinions on it. By saying all that, what I mean is, a good story is a good story, right? But if you lean into more of the characters, more of the story, that it hurts it. Give you an example, and this is pretty Captain Obvious again. Whatever, I'm just using an example. This cup is a character, right? When they say they have a story, and the characters here, like, look at this character, how great this character is. It's this, it's that. Look how great it is. It's Death Wish coffee with blueberry flavor. You are more concentrated about the character more so than the story, right? With Rebel Moon, it was more about the story and less about this. And you have to have a balance between the character and the story to make it halfway decent. Now, no movie's perfect. There's always flaws in it. There's always things. For myself, though, I can take the good out. I can take the bad out of the good. It's not bad. I can still enjoy it. I can sit in a review. Visually, it was stunning. I loved it, but I just couldn't. I wanted to like the characters, but there was nothing to like. If you see what I'm saying, And with Marvel, rumors about bringing Iron Man back, Captain America back. That's just so. You have to create something else, or find a character that we've not saw yet that's interesting, and then show us why we should like this character, and then we'll fall in love with the character and support you for the end of time. That's pretty simple, right? But they won't do that because they're fearful, and they know they see, because they probably see more details of the data of nobody's interested in this current Marvel slate. You hear about Avengers 15. I'm just being facetious, but Avengers 8, 9, 10, and Secret Wars, stuff like that, and it does not. I don't care. Show me, do something cool. I mean, all right, I'm getting triggered again. I apologize, but let's go back to Deadpool and Wolverine. Right, that's what everybody's talking about because it's coming in July, and I'm sitting back and I like the trailers. I react to both of them. And I'm glad they didn't give us a lot of spoilers in the trailer, because most of the good stuff is going to be in the theater, right? So, but I'm not super excited. I can't wait to watch it, right? Looking forward to watch it. I'm not chewing at the bit like I cannot wait. I'm going to buy the first ticket. No, I'm not that excited about it. Not because I don't think it'll be a good movie. It'll be a solid movie. I think it will be good. I think Ryan Reynolds put all his attention, and he tried his best to steer that ship in the correct direction for Marvel's sake. And Marvel's like, and Disney's like, here's a truckload of money for you. You don't need it, but here's all the money for you. And he and the directors and all that, and trying to make something good. And I believe it'll be good. But again, I know I sound like a broken record. It's the point of what's next. Now, there's an article. There's part of the article. And this reason I say it's a fluff piece. They said at the end of this article here that they introduce Joseph Quinn, who's joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Johnny Storm, Human Torch, in the upcoming tentpole. The Fantastic Four recently told Entertainment Weekly that he is not too concerned about superhero fatigue as he gets ready to make his own superhero debut. I think with the story of Fantastic Four, it feels like we want to get this right, Quinn says. Superhero fatigue concern. There's aspects of it that are very different to other Marvel films. Okay, that felt compelled to me. And again, going back to who's involved, Matt Shakman, of course, a director I think is brilliant in this cast. I've read it, and the script is brilliant. It's really brilliant. I'm glad to have this opportunity. That's the thing, is it's very different than other Marvel films. That's what I guess that's the thing. With Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm more curious, honestly, with the Fantastic Four coming out next July in 25, because at that point, then where, I mean, you have probably leaks and certain things after Deadpool and Wolverine happens, the mid-credit scene, whatever it is, you will see the tricklings of what Marvel is going to do. You'll have rumors of Secret Wars and yada yada yada. That's just too far out for me to care about or even talk about. But with Fantastic Four, I'd be curious. I'm really curious about that, to see if they hit the landing, because the previous one I reviewed on my channel, it was alright. But I wonder where they're going to go. What kind of feel it has? Will it connect with the next phase of Marvel, and will land for the audience to enjoy and come back to the theaters and pay Marvel billions of dollars again so they can keep on making great movies again? That's the hope, right? But I'm telling you, I'll say it once and I'll say it again before I leave. You have to earn your trust with us. You have to earn good storytelling again. Just because you have cameos, just because you might have Iron Man, Superman, I know it's a different genre, but let's just play with that idea. You have Iron Man, Superman, Batman, whoever in the freaking film. Does not mean jack to me, because it's just temporary. What's the long term? What is your plan to introduce something great to us? I hope so. But anywho, so I always, in my video, I try best to see if anybody watches this long. If you watch this long, comment below. Hashtag will Deadpool work? And I'll know you watch this long. If not, that's cool too. But I do appreciate each one of you who watch my videos, and I appreciate listening to my vents and my opinions mostly. It's not vents, but my opinion, my genuine opinion of all this stuff, and I need to quit hitting this mic. But anywho, but thank you for watching. I'll talk to y'all later. You have a good day. See you later.